Okay, we're back and we're talking about, and we're live, we're talking about squaring these. We're talking about how we get the root mean square error with our table. The error we already found on the previous table. It was the difference between y and y hat. Now we're going to take those differences and square them all. 7 squared, 10 squared, 38 squared, 1444. 7 squared. Okay, so we have the root mean square error. Backwards, error, square, mean. It's time to find the mean. It's time to add all of these up, find the sum of these, and a little bit of the theory here is it says the sum as I go from 1 to 4. Those little numbers just mean you're going to go from the first data item. The 1 means that you're going to start with item number 1. Add 100, add 1444, add 49, and stop when you get to the 4th item. That's what those numbers mean. Start with number 1, bing, and go all the way to number 4. Stop. What did you get? Say that again. So we got 1642, which is the sum of the green numbers. You add the green numbers together, and you got 1642. If you don't understand this right now, I would not sweat it. Okay? If you don't understand this symbol, don't worry about it. We'll focus more on that in semester 2. All right? If you do understand how to add those 4 numbers together, great. That's what you need to do. So we added the 4 green numbers up, but we didn't find their mean yet. We still need to divide by not just n, but n minus 2. We need to divide by 4 minus 2, which is 2. 1642 divided by 2. Half of 16 is 8. Half of 4 is 2. Half of 2 is 1. 821. Aha! You don't divide by n, you divide by 2. Listen, there were 4 data items, so we divided by 2. If there were 10 data items, we would have divided by 8. If there were 50 data items, we would have divided by 48. If there were 631 data items, we would divide by 629. You always divide by 2 fewer. There's theory behind that we don't have time to get into. All right? You always divide by 2 fewer. We can discuss it later if you'd like to. And we're not done. Here we are, talking about the number of pizzas that we can sell in year 5. All right, well, we have this number now, 821, which means nothing. And here's why it means nothing. This 512 that you see right here was the number of what? Yeah, pizzas. When we subtracted 505, the difference was 7 whats? Pizzas. When you square it, suddenly your units are in pizzas squared. All right? We're in terms of pizzas squared right now. What is a pizza squared? A Sicilian? Yeah, that was a good one. Okay, so it's a type of pizza, traditional and Sicilian squared. Sorry. Okay. Now, so we have this pizzas squared. We don't want pizzas squared. That doesn't make sense. So how do you unsquare a pizza squared? Ah, that's what we're doing. We still need to take the square root. Again, the phrase is called root mean square error. You do the process backwards. Error, square, mean, root. Take the square root. And what did you get? To the nearest pizza. 29. And let's wrap this up before we ask questions. Here's my interpretation of 29. If we now go to figure out how many pizzas we think we're going to sell the next November, that would be year 5. In year 5, we're now predicting the future. That's called extrapolation, when you predict what's going to happen next. Not within your data set, that's called interpolation. Predicting out to the future is extrapolation. For year 5, you would take your y hat equation and you would plug in 5 in place of x. And what do you get? The predicted number of pizzas for next year. Let's go ahead and calculate that. 417.3 plus 87.7 times 5. Give me an answer to the nearest whole pizza. Right? We predict that we're going to sell 856 pizzas. What the root mean square error tells us is that number may be off by 29 pizzas. It could be below by 29, it could be above by 29. That's called the margin of error. That's one way to find what's called the margin of error. We might sell 856 pizzas, but we might sell 29 more than that, or 29 fewer than that. That's what the 29 means. So if you're going to plan out how many pizzas you think your company's going to sell, you might want to plan ahead for 29 pizzas above or below that number.